Hi, Ann Cornick from Paint and Porcelain Exchange. I am here to help beginners get started in China painting. For those of you who've been painting a while, I hope you'll join us and paint along with us. Today we're going to finish our lemons, I hope, or at least get pretty far along with the lemons. This is my first fire from last time. And as you can see, this time I'm going to try something really different with the background. I'm going to try to get kind of a shadow effect without shadows. So we'll see how it works. I've got an idea in my brain. I don't know if it'll work. As you can see, I should point out, the yellow, I didn't use as much lemon yellow. I used lemon yellow here, here, and here. You can tell because that's the areas where it burned out. Lemon yellow is just not working for me. So I'm going to switch back and use like a buttercup and a primrose, but I did maintain more of my color this time. So I'm pretty thrilled with that. We're going to hopefully do a second fire. The other thing I wanted to tell you is that I'm starting to do my studies again and putting them online on my Shopify site. I'll just put that up there for you. And I just put up my peaches one, but they're $5. You download them. It's not a big deal. You get them instantly. So if you want to paint something today and you want to go to my site, you can get the study and download it right away. I have over 300 videos right now, or close to 300 videos on YouTube, and then go through the order process, and it comes to you as an email with an attachment. So I think you'll find that really interesting. You download the attachment, print it off, and you have it, and it's that easy. So okay, colors for today, we're going to be using some new colors, I think, because I want to experiment a little bit. I took the lemon yellow off because lemon yellow is not working for me, so why leave it on my palette so that you think you can use it, okay? I added blue black, my favorite color. It's that chameleon of shadow colors that just absolutely is wonderful. I also have chartreuse. You'll see here, this is shining green, which a lot of people don't have. This is olive green. You may not have that either. But I wanted you to see what the colors are that I'm using. And if you want to use different colors, you can, but this way you kind of know what they look like. Okay, this is cool green, which I really, really, really like. If you don't have cool green, I think last time I told you what you could use instead. You could probably use like one of those blue greens or something for it. There's darkest green, and then I put in, shading green right here. This is primrose, and this is black green. I don't use black green very often. I hate it. But in this case, I'm going to try to use it. Then I have sunflower, as I said, which I think you could use almost like a canary for it. Buttercup is a good color. Or any, I have primrose here, any of those light yellows that you have. Mixing yellow is okay. A lot of people love mixing yellow, and you can use it. There's nothing wrong with it. I find, though, that it doesn't come out as dark as some of these others. It doesn't hold its color against other colors as well. This is deep orange, so any orange that you can get, poppy or whatever you find, and a little moss, okay? And the reason I put all these greens on here is because what I want to do for the background is really give it a lot of pizzazz. Now, we're looking at color brushes. This is my filbert. I'm actually going to Dick Blick's today to see if I can find another one. What I'm looking for in a filbert is a very thin one. See how thin this is from the side? I love that. For me, that gives me a real nice background. This is a 12. This is a 10. These are my Sharp brushes. Sharp is one of my favorite brush makers. This is a 3/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and this is what do you call it? I always want to call it a shade, a liner, but it's actually a scroller because it's so long. See? Okay. Now the other thing you will remember is that if you're new to this, I want to make sure you know that you sand off your plate after every fire. So this was the first fire, and I sanded it real well. I use these. I think you can get them from Dallas or Maryland, China. They're sponges on one side, so they're real pliable. And on the other side, they're a very low grade sandpaper, and it will take the grit off of your piece. The other thing it will do is tell you if it's under fired or not, because if you start getting color, and this happened a couple of fires ago, but see that there? If you start getting color on there, you may have underfired your piece. And, you know, you could easily sand it all off. So don't be too diligent. Just, you know, circles and just take it off. And then run your hand over the piece. And at the very end, when you're done with the piece, of course, you do the same thing, because it's important that you have a nice smooth piece to present to people. I'm going to start with chartreuse. And I'm just putting in, here, let me move it down here. I'm just putting in like swipes of chartreuse, like over some of these leaves that we thought would be shadow leaves there. I might swipe it both directions. Okay. And I might put them on an angle. Put a little back here. Put a little out in here. Let me pull it down a little. There we go. A little out in here. Come here, you chartreuse. I just mixed the chartreuse, and that's why it's so nice and bright and easy to apply. And I'm just doing it kind of like that. That's it, okay? Now, you can clean your brush if you want. You don't have to. I'm going to clean mine, though. And I'm going to then go down to my next color, which would be either a shining or an olive or a moss. I'm going to try the moss first. Let's see what the moss looks like. There we go. Oops. I want it more on an angle like this to look more like leaves. There we go. Maybe put a little here. Maybe put a little there. Okay. I'm going to clean my brush again. This guy's a little bright, but I'm just going to leave him for now. Dip again. Now I'm going to try olive green. My olive green isn't freshly mixed, so it's going to be a little different. There we go. With this brush, I find if you use the side like this of it, you get a much easier, much more leafy looking object there. So let's do it over here. I want it here, here, here. And I want a little down here. Come on. There we go. And I actually think I want a little down in here. So let's, I'm going to get a little shining green. Now, some of these colors you may not have. You don't need them. I'm just tapping these colors in. If I don't like them, I can change that. But I'm trying something. I saw it on a watercolor or on a photo, and I thought, this is really cool. They blurred the lens, and so what it, in effect, what it gave you was all these colors in the background, but not necessarily anything that means anything. Okay, now I'm taking my cool green, which is my background color, and I'm really adding it in. And this I'm doing more intentionally. I want my cool green to really be there, but I don't want to knock out the colors I just put on. So I'm kind of playing around them very carefully. And we'll see how this does. And I want my cool green to be a little brighter than it normally would be. So I'm letting it down here. Let's put the color in. I'm going to put it right over this. I can always wipe that out, right? Okay, oops, move it up here so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just adding that color into the background. I want the background to have a real nice cool green background. I love cool green. You may not like it as well. Oh, you know what it is? It's Russian green. It's a lot like a Russian or a Persian green. If you have those, you could use those and get the same kind of effect, I think. Mm-hmm. And when you paint upside down, the other thing I like is it allows you to kind of see where you're putting it a little easier and where you need it and where you don't. It also, if you're painting on something, it helps to bring the area you're painting on closer to you. So if you use one of these circular Lazy Susan type things, by doing this, you can bring that color right up to you so you can see what it's doing. I'm gonna wipe off the edge real quick. Okay, now I'm gonna clean my brush again. And I'm going to do my, a little bit of my blue black and see how it does. I'm going to take, let's take a little moss and a little blue black, full load of moss, side load of blue black, and I'm just going to do this leaf right here. Oh, and I should do it with this brush instead. The square brushes to me work better on my leaves, so I'm going to go back and do it again, this time with the square brush. This is the blue black that I've told you that I love, love, love. And the reason I love it is because it's a total chameleon. It will turn any, you can put it on, and if you're using green, it becomes kind of a dark black green. If you're using any color, it will sort of morph and become whatever color you're using. And then I'm going to turn this around and just do the side and the edge. Oops, let's get a little more oil on there. It's dragging for me. And then I'm going to come down here and just do the tip of this guy. Good. Do the tip of this guy. These are the real leaves. These are not the fake leaves I put in the background, but I think this might give it an interesting background, so we'll see. If I don't like it, what am I going to do? I'll just mix it all together. There we go. I need a little more moss. It's getting too blue and not as green as I would like it to be there. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do this guy here. Now, he's actually over this fella, so I'm not going to do the part that's over until the very end. I'm going to come down here with this just a little bit. And this, I'm just going to turn it over. We'll make this a little lighter. There we go. We'll make this a little darker. And this a little darker here. And a little blue black. There, that's better. Okay, flip it around. And then we'll just put in a couple of little guys up at the top. Okay. Cleaning my brush. I don't know if I like this yet or not. I'll have to decide later. Let me put a little, let's try this. There we go. Okay. Now let's, we're going to take the branch and put it across. Remember, it's actually this way on here, okay? So, and I'm just sort of sketching it on there. So I've got wood, which is like a yellow, dark yellow brown and a little rich brown, and I'm just sort of through here, and down and through here, and even down and through here. There we go. Okay, so I've got that established. That's good. And now I'll take a little of the brown and mix it with a little bit of the, oh, I don't know, maybe a darkest green or a shading green and put a few of these stems back in. I'm mixing it with a little brown so you actually notice them. There we go. There we go. Okay. And these guys over here kind of need it. This guy here needs it. And I have a couple there. Oh, one here. I haven't finished. And these two here. Okay. I'm going back to my brush. And I'm going to take a little bit of chartreuse, a little bit of blue black, and just kind of put this guy in. I'm just pulling him and pulling him. I just want to give him a little more color so he doesn't stand out like an unfinished guy here. Put a little blue black on the end of him. There we go. Okay. I actually kind of like that. Now what I'm going to do is take this eraser and just pounce a little to kind of mix that background a little. Over here I noticed I need a little more color. Let's do this. Let's get blue black and just put some blue black in here. There we go. I don't know, I may end up just wiping it all off and deciding I don't like it, but I think I do. This is kind of the look I wanted for the background, so it kind of looked like there were a ton of different leaves back there. Now I can take and add a little bit of the dark green to some of these leaves. Let's get there. Make them look like real leaves. There we go. Okay. And I'll do this guy here. And pull a little bit up this way. Actually, if you just smooth out some of these, I think you find that you get kind of an interesting look too. There we have it. Okay. Let's do our lemons, shall we? I'm going to push this up just a little. Before we do our lemons, though, I'm going to clean my filbert real well and just put in the rest of this cool green. I need to see it on here. I can't just see what I did. I got to see it on here. Here we go. Okay. That'll help me balance out the colors in my mind. Over here. I'll put a little cool green down in here. Up in there. We need a little darker. There we go. Okay, and I'm going back and forth. You know, we talked about this. This is, you do it towards yourself, towards yourself, towards yourself, towards yourself. Unless you're trying for some reason to move it around a different direction, then you can go away from yourself. But it's better to paint towards yourself. You have a little more control. I like this guy up in here. I'm just going to add a little blue black to them and see what happens. I'd like them to be a little more under back there. Let's do this. This is a darker green. Darkest green. There we go. And then I'll just pat it along the sides. I just want it to blend in a little. Okay. All right, that helps a lot. That helps me get a handle on color and what we're doing here. Now, get rid of some of this up here. Come here. You can see why I mean it might need another coat. I think it will. I'm going to put Buttercup on this guy. There he is. I couldn't figure out where he was at. There he is. Okay. I'm going to let that green come in because I kind of like it. And this guy's in the background, so I have no problem adding a little green to him just to push him into the background. Like this. That's good. And I'm going to have to turn him like this and just add a little of the background here. That's good. I want a little background down in here too. Come here, you. That's a leaf over that. That's a leaf there. Okay, let's do this guy here. All right. Just to get my colors in. Now I'm going to take a Q-tip and just sort of try to figure out where he was in here. Here we go. Okay, he's coming out the side there. All right. Take my finger and pounce a little bit. I covered up my picture here that I was looking at. Fix that. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of the orange that we had before. Oops, not that much. And just put a little down here. I want a little color on this. I like orange. I know it's probably a little unorthodox for a lemon, but okay. This guy needs to be more green here. Okay. And I'm going to take a little of the orange and bring it up this side of the lemon and across this way. And I'll tell you why in a minute. I know it's way too much orange. So I'm just going to pounce it. Okay, kind of like the green too. Now I'm going to take my, this little guy, my Q-tip, and wipe out part of that so I get a little highlight. See that highlight on there? That's nice. I like that highlight. You want a little bit of the color around the top, but you also want the highlight. Now let me show you my special super duper idea that I tried before that really helped, I thought. I need a little shading green on this first. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to take this little guy, Plast Care USA, P-L-A-S-T Care USA, all one word. Disposable micro applicators. They're actually for teeth. This is what they look like. This is the small end of it. I'm going to use the side of it and just put a little texture on here. I can see the texture. I'm not sure that you can, but it's there. I'm also going to put a little more yellow in the center here. There we go. And I'm going to use this micro applicator. And I'm just dotting it, basically. Give it a little texture. That's why I put the orange on. You need an orange or a green or something so you can see the color on there. Because if not, you're going to lose the color. So, okay, then we're going to do this guy down here. I'm going to start out with a little bit of, I kind of like the cool green on this side of him. So we'll just let that go, just like that. I'm just taking, when I take and get cool green like this, I'm pulling it from this junk down here. The stuff that nobody really paints with, but I do. And see how that adds a little bit of, I may have to go a little darker. Take darkest green Yeah, there we go. I want a nice shadow there. And I'm painting flat with my brush. I'm just tapping. Okay. I'm using darkest green. I could use black green, but I'm using darkest green. And I'm just going up and here we go. This is Buttercup. And I'm putting it on kind of dark, but I love Buttercup. And it really gives a nice color to your lemons. Putting it on real heavy here. And you have to take your finger to blend it. There we go. That's the darkest green again. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to take a little orange and put across here. And a little orange on this side. I just want the orange to give us a little bit of play. Gonna wipe out this side of the base of that so that it looks decent. Do a little more of this, and then I'm going to take my little applicator and just start texturing the skin. I tried doing it with a Q-tip. I didn't like it with the Q-tip. This looks like a Christmas ornament. Hang on. I need to take care of that. There. Just put some darker color over it. There we go. Okay, that's a little better. And then we'll take our liner with a little bit of the brown and there we go. A little better. Okay. This guy needs the same thing. He needs the darker background here. I'm going to use my square shader to do it. It's just easier to put in color with a square shader than it is with a... There we go. I'm going to wipe out a little here. There. Okay. Now I need to do these leaves down in here because I didn't do them. A little moss, a little shading green. I'm going to come up along the side here. Blue black. There. That's better. I'm just going to, yeah. Okay, and here. Let me just get these kind of figured out here. Yeah. Okay, I'm using dark colors, either blue, black, or whatever I have. Right now I'm using a darkest green because it seems to be working well. And what you want to do is, there we go. That's more of a little leaf up there. Is create your leaves. So if you've lost them, in order to bring them back, the easiest thing to do is just recreate them. Just pull them back in. This I don't like. I tried to make a extra color there. That I don't like. Okay. Alrighty, that worked pretty well. Let me just shape this leaf a little there. Pull a little light into it. And finally, let's do this other guy. I'm going to need a third fire on this, I can tell you right now. Now this guy's going to be our brightest one, obviously. Okay, I'm just going to put a little orange on him. Put a little orange on both sides of him. Oh, whoa! Okay, that didn't work. Let's pull that out a little there. We'll tap it. There. I need to clean this guy. And I'm going to do the little tap dance on him too, so that you could probably see it a little better on him. The nice thing about China painting is, if you don't like what you did, you can wipe it off and start over. And that's kind of what I subscribe to. It's like, if I don't like what I've put on here, I'm going to start over. I'm doing chartreuse now with a little bit of the blue-black. Actually, I'm going to use a little of the cool green because now we're down near the bottom. There we go. Now, I need more. I need a color on here. Always works for me. There we go. It's a little dark, so we'll tone it. There we go. And then I'm going to take, I think I use the same, well, actually I use a smaller brush. I'll use the little 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to kind of sketch in some vines here so that there we go. Okay. And I'm going to use my 3/4 inch just to get up in here because it's too hard not to. There we go. Okay. And I want to put a little color, going back to my filbert, up in here. So now you go through and you tweak. And you decide what you like and what you don't like. I kind of do like having the colors up in there. I'm going to bring a little chartreuse down in here. Why not? I might have messed it up. There we go. Thanks. Okay, so this is how it turned out. I do like the yellow. I will say the yellow is exactly what I wanted. There's not enough shadow on here as far as I'm concerned on the lemons. So I have to, and there's not enough depth up in the top. I am going to have to do a third fire on this. Okie doke, pick up those brushes, keep painting. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.